how this Islamic Propagation Center International came into being. As soon as I left school, I started working in a country shop, just about 25 miles outside the city, selling sugar and salt, flour, rice across the counter. Across the valley from the shop, there was a Christian mission, a university, where they were training missionaries. And these trainee missionaries, whatever they learned, they came to practice on the Muslims in the shop. We were ready customers for them. We were the only Muslims around that place, and they would come to us telling us that, Muhammad had so many wives. I knew nothing about that. They would tell us that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he spread his religion at the point of the sword, meaning he forced people to accept Islam. I knew nothing about that. He said Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he copied the Quran from the Jews and the Christians, meaning he plagiarized, he stole. I knew nothing about that. And all the other staff in the shop, we were all on the same level. The only thing we knew about Islam was that we read the Shahada, which made us Muslims. What the Shahada meant, when we said La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, to us it was like a magic formula. If you can say it, you are a Muslim. If you can't say it, you are not a Muslim. What to do? They made life miserable. The missionaries made life miserable for me and the other staff. I felt like leaving the job and running away. But jobs were very difficult to get. What to do? Allah came to the rescue. I came across a worm-eaten book. A worm-eaten book in my boss's warehouse, his godown. The title of the book was Izharul Haq, meaning the truth revealed. And this book title intrigued me because it sounded like Arabic, but it was written in Latin script, in English. IZHARULHAQQ, Izharul Haq. And I ruminated the words in my mind, Izharul Haq, Izharul Haq. What is Izharul Haq? Seeing in brackets, in smaller types, the truth revealed, I now connected that most probably Izharul Haq means the truth revealed. And I read this book. This book was about the Christian missionary attack on India, my motherland. That when the British conquered India, they realized that at any time anybody will give them trouble, it will be the Muslims. Because power, rule, dominion was wrenched out of their hands. And once they have tasted power, they will aspire for it once more again. And the Muslims were a militant people in contrast to the Hindus, who were, at that time, they were as docile as the cows that they were worshipping. So there was no fear from that quarter. So the British felt that if they can convert the Muslims, a substantial number of them, they can rule India for 1,000 years. And they started pouring in the missionaries like frogs in the rainy season into India, wanting to convert our people. I'm reading this in this book, and about the debates that took place. Now those debates were of great interest to me, because this is actually, now I'm under pressure from the Christians, and it's giving me material. It's arming me. As the debates that took place, the same type of arguments, if I can use, I will be in a better position to defend myself and Islam. So whatever I learned in the book, I started practicing on the students now. And I made appointments with them to go to their homes on Sundays, after church, their church, and talking to them. And I talked myself into talking until I came to Durban, reside in Durban. I found a job in Durban. And in Durban, around the 50s, an opening took place. This is also Allah's Musabbibul Asbab. We had a very charismatic speaker coming from overseas. And this speaker, very unusual, for a Sunday morning, he used to get 200 to 300 people every Sunday morning. And the crowd was increasing continuously. And I used to attend this talk of his, very fascinating. At the end of the talk, question and answers, and when everything was over, after a few months, a revert to Islam, an Englishman who had become Muslim, by the name of Mr. Fairfax. This Mr. Fairfax, he suggested this, look, any of you, if you are interested, I am prepared to teach you people comparative religion. But he called it Bible class. He said, I will teach you the Bible, how to use the Bible in propagating Islam. So he said, very good. So out of this 200 to 300 audience every Sunday morning that this other gentleman drew, about 15 to 20 opted to remain for a second injection. And this Mr. Fairfax began teaching us that, look, in the book of Daniel, there are certain prophecies and how to use those prophecies. In the book of Deuteronomy, in the Bible, there are certain prophecies regarding the coming of our Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and how we can exploit them, how we can expound them.